Hello, my name is Olivia Quinn, and thank you today for joining us on the newsroom. Our topic of discussion is American exceptionalism, and our first guest is Journee Johnson. Please give her a warm welcome, the environmentalist. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Our next guest today is the fun feminist, Cari. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And lastly today, our guest is the foreign Ferry from China, Chinese immigrant Lauren. Please welcome. Great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's get started, ladies. Okay, as you all know, we're talking about American exceptionalism today. My very first question for you guys is America the best country in the world?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, no doubt. Best country.
Please tell me why.
Well, I mean, I am an immigrant from China, and coming from another country, I have the experience and perspective that not many Americans have. Not many, Native Americans have.
Do you have any statistics to prove this?
Yeah, I do actually. So,
Okay.
it says here that from 2000 to 2009, 1,029,943 immigrants came to the United States. 34% of those were Asians, 41% were Latin Americans, 15% were from Europe or Canada.
Well, America's becoming overpopulated. What if you don't want all these people coming here?
That's one of the greatest things about America is the diversity of it. You don't see any other country with as much diversity as America.
That's true.
People have so many stereotypes for Chinese and stuff, but actually the truth is that many Chinese want to come to the United States because they are envisioning a place with better schools, cleaner air, and more charismatic leaders.
We don't have cleaner air.
Why do you say that?
The cleanest country in the world, which has the cleanest air, is Iceland. So if your facts are wrong, because according to statistics, Iceland is the cleanest country in the world and also has the happiest people in the world. So if that's a correlation, then I'm not really sure what you're saying by that U.S.
I never said that the Chinese wanted to go to Iceland. I said they wanted to come to America because they have more cleaner air.
But they don't have cleaner air than other places. They do not have the cleanest air.
Why is Iceland not as populated, though? Why don't people go there?
That's a solid question because Iceland has the happiest people on earth and no set up military, which means they're not selling guns to people, they're not killing off animals. They are statistically the happiest. And America is nowhere near the Philippines and Indonesia. Those are other happier countries than America. So who's to say that we're exceptional if we're not even happy? Yes, we have a great economy, but we're not happy. So what makes us exceptional?
I'm going to have to agree with that. I do not believe America is exceptional. As Leopold said in his article, we're number one. I think a little less hubris and a little more focus would do us a lot of good. And I strongly agree with this because it is saying that America needs to focus and work on the equality of its people. How can you say somewhere is exceptional if not everybody is treated equally?
And I also can agree with this because in an article by D'Souza, in What's Great About America, he quotes Reverend Jesse Jackson from Stanford, and he says, racism has gone underground. It is no longer overt but covert, and it continues to thwart African Americans and other minorities from claiming their share of the American dream. And we've seen this perfectly in Ferguson and all those killings. That shows racism.
Cari, back to you. Why can't women equal men? Like, why? I think they are equal to each other. We have the same rights. We can both vote. How are they not equal?
The Independent newspaper stated that 1% of women in the world own land.
Why don't you try living in another country? Why don't you try living in North Korea or China where women don't have rights at all, or even India?
Instead of comparing ourselves to other countries, we should work on our personal goals of equality.
I think that you should be grateful for where you live.
I think that we need to work on women's equality because, as stated in the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, In the elementary school teachers and speech pathologists, out of all of them, 95% are women. And in lawyers and physicians and surgeons, only 31% are women. That is clearly showing that women are not being held to the same standards as men and are being pushed way less than men are and are being put to easier jobs. And
I mean, again, why don't you try living in another country where women don't get rights at all? In the article, What's Great About America by Salzat, it says, in America, the immigrant immediately recognizes that things are different. The newcomer who sees America for the first time typically experiences emotion that alternate between wonder and delight. What does that mean? It means that America was so much better than where they originally came from. You are so lucky to be born in America.
Is poisoning their people. They are poisoning their people with their food. We are putting in all these chemicals in our food, which is poisoning our people. If you look in places like Australia, they do not allow those certain chemicals, and they have a higher life expectancy rate than we do. Because we are poisoning our people, and they do not allow those chemicals into their country.
You have a point there. I do give you that, but then again, there are so many more parts to this argument than just if we're poisoning our food or not. I mean, America has a better economic system, better social system, better everything.
Well, you cannot say they have a better everything, because that is very broad, considering I just stated multiple things that do not make it better. Everything is too broad.
I would like to chime in there, and Leopold's same article that we're number 1, he said that we're not exceptional in all categories, but we're clearly exceptional in some categories, and I think we should agree with that. And I do agree that we should agree with that and excel in some things, but instead of getting caught up in all the things we're great at, we should work on the struggling areas. Why aren't we pushing to be better?
Okay, well, in opposition to that, in the article, why the U.S. will be a superpower still in 2030 is because we are so great. Yeah, there's a few things that we're not good at, of course. Nobody's perfect, but in this article, it says that by 2030, no country will pass America because we are so great. What do you guys have to say about that?
I think that we shouldn't settle for what we're at. I think that we do have areas we can work at, so why settle?
Fair enough.
Why not push ourselves to be exceptional since we're not there yet?
Good attitude to have.
I agree. I mean, also in the article 2030, it says America attracts the best and brightest to immigrate from China, where they can expect to live a good life, in America rather than in Chinese society. So, like I said, coming from my perspective, that I came from a different country. I didn't have a good life there. My parents always taught me to stand up for what I wanted and what I thought was right, and that I found that my happiness was in America. I mean, as these statistics again say, so many people, they came for religious freedom, economic opportunity, religious tolerance, so many reasons.
Well,
get higher wages, better jobs.
I'm a woman living in America. I'm going to law school, and every day I'm treated differently than men are.
How? Give me examples.
They're being shown more power. They are given more power. They are treated differently than we are because they are seen as the higher race or the higher sex, and it is unfair to women.
So why is that America's fault? Why can't you take your stand?
Some women do. I take my stand. I do. I'm a strong, independent woman, and I take my stand. But not all women do. Not all women have the inner striving to do that.
Wow.
Not all women do. I do because I am a feminist, and I believe that we can be exceptional, but we are not exceptional in this moment in
Just
America.
because you're a feminist doesn't mean other people can't stand up for what they believe in. What am I doing right now?
Namaste. I'll just calm down. Breathe. Take in the air.
Okay, so as you can see.
But I would also have more to say.
Right.
I would just like to say that we can say that we're still going to be exceptional in 2030, but that is being arrogant on our part. And
Agreed.
And there's plenty of things that we have failed to protect marine life. We are put on this earth. Our earth is what is making us survive. Our trees, our world, but we're killing everything. So how can we be exceptional if we kill everything that helps us survive? We're not protecting our marine life. Our marine life is part of us. We are one with the world.
Okay. As you guys can see now, American exceptionalism is an extremely controversial issue, and everyone has their own opinion. So let's just continue. If you live in America, just continue to stand up for what you believe in, and don't settle for less. All right, that's all we've got time for today. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week.